Baker, one of the local quilt shop owners, and today I have the privilege of introducing Nancy McNally to you, and we're going to talk about this lovely quilt behind me, which is a new block of the month that Lewis Irene Fabric Company is introducing to the world. You get to see it here first. Miss Nancy McNally is the designer of this quilt, so we're going to be talking everything about this quilt. But first, I want Nancy to introduce herself to you guys so you know who she is, how you can get to her, and how you can get to this fabulous block of the month, or if you just want a quilt kit. And by the way, this quilt is called Bumbleberry Pie. Nancy, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us and watching this video. Lisa and I have become great friends. So let's talk about Bumbleberry Pie. All right. So it is a new block of the month coming out this spring, 2024. Now, if you love Bumbleberry Pie, what you're going to need to do is talk to your local shop owner and say, hey, I just saw a new block of the month coming out this spring 2024, because you kind of got to remember that. Have them talk to their fabric rep or contact the Lewis and Irene USA division, which we can give you that information too at the end of this video, so they know who to contact, because this is a fun quilt. So let's talk about the quilt for a few minutes. All right, not only can it be offered as a block of the month, but if the shop owner chooses, it can be offered as a kit, which is just as fun as a block of the month. So it is designed by me. And if you'd like to visit my website, it is nancymcnallyquilts.com. That is easy to remember. All it is my name plus the word quilt. Easy peasy, right? All right. So the block of the month is a year long. So it's 11 months of piecing a block or two blocks, or maybe a few more. Not many times do I have you make more than one or two of a block. So don't worry about it. I promise they're easy peasy. And the size of the quilt is 80 inches by 92 inches, which I know that might sound big, but you know what? It'll fit on a twin bed very easily and it'll look beautiful. All right, so our block sizes are 6 by 6, 3 by 12, and 12 by 12. And of course, the borders. Now, when you look at the quilt, you will see that the top and the bottom border are pieced borders, and they are flying geese borders. But the technique that I use to create those flying geese is very easy, I promise. So now, the fabric collection that I use to make it, which Lewis and Irene is sponsoring, or sponsored the quilt, is Bumbleberries. And that's where I got the name from, Bumbleberry Pie. I love, 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 love this fabric line. And when I finally got to touch it and feel it and work with it and play with it, I fell in love with it. It's so scrumptious. I hope you feel the same way too when you get your hands on it. All right, so the pattern offers step-by-step instructions for each month, along with images to help guide you through the steps. And, you know, as quilters, we all just love looking at the pictures rather than reading the instructions. So I try to offer as many images and pictures for you to follow along with so that you can match your colors and put them in the right places so that there's no ripping the seams, because, you know, we don't like to rip the seams out at all. And in my patterns, I also offer throughout the pattern our pressing seam allowance arrows. Even if you have to press them open, I still put an arrow there. And that helps us out because, you know, when you're flipping through the pattern and you get to the place wherever you left off at, or wherever you're working at, and you're like, oh, which way is the seam allowance supposed to go? You can just glance over and see the arrow right where you need to. All right. So another thing is, when I'm creating and designing and writing the pattern for any of my quilts, I like to use easy techniques so that it's easier to piece. It goes together quicker, faster. And I try to make it, I know I keep using the word easy a lot, but I really and truly try to make it easy for everyone. I also warn you in patterns, if it's necessary, if bias triangles are ahead. That means use spray starch before you cut your fabric because if you cut the fabric and then you spray starch, the fabric shrinks. So keep that in the back of your mind, even when you're using someone else's pattern. All right. So anyone who signs up for the block of the month receives an additional free item with the pattern, and it is my reference guide. And I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. So let's talk about the blocks now. All right. So month one, I'm going to share my screen here. So month one is the beginner block. It is what I call stair steps. And for someone who's just joining the quilt world, this is a great skill builder block of the month. Also, to learn how to do the different techniques, and it'll take you from beginner to confident beginner to intermediate. All right, so month one is stair steps. Whoops, went too far. Month two is the star and pinwheels block. And with each one, I tell you how many you're supposed to make and the size of the unfinished block. Now, remember, that's important. Finished versus unfinished. Always pay attention to those measurements in any pattern you are working through. Month three, sister's choice. Notice, again, you're only making two of those blocks. Month four, this is called the Friendship Star, another beginner block. And we use the blocks from month one to bring this all together to create this block right here. Month five is the Carolina Lily. That has become a new favorite of mine. I absolutely love this block. Month six, I've renamed this block Nuts and Bolts. When I found this block, I had never made it before, and it's one of those, I want to make this block, but I couldn't find a name for it. I could only find a number. So when I looked at it, it made me think of a screwdriver. I kid you not, that's exactly what I thought. I thought, okay, we're going to call it Nuts and Bolts. So month seven, you're only going to make one of the star blocks that you see. I'm calling that the double vision star. And then you're going to be making some sashing that's going to go around the double vision star. And that's why you see two blocks on this one. Month eight, this is our corner frame block, and it is very similar to a log cabin block. I revised it so it offers this unique kind of modern look. Month nine is half square triangles, and these are the sashing around the center star. And then there's and then let's see, go to the next one. Okay, there we go. And then there's month 10, the large star points. These are easy to make, and these are bias, so make sure you spray the fabric before you cut it. And these are easy to make. Month 11, the migrating geese border. So I think this is fun to make, and you get to choose so many colors when you're making this. And I also take you through in the pattern for month 11, I show you how to organize the colors and keep them in order, because there's a left and there's a right. And so you've got to stay organized with this one so you don't have like two reds together when it should be a red and a blue that are together. All right, last and the final month is let's bring it all together. Isn't she pretty? I just love Bumbleberry pie.
I think she's lovely. Now, when you were talking about the flying geese, I like that they're alternating, staggering flying geese. Nancy, tell them how many flying geese is on this quilt.
Oh, do I have to? I believe there's 72, but with the way we piece them, I promise you it's fast and easy, and you can chain piece. So that's another bonus. It's not make one and then cut your thread and then go press and then do another one. You can chain piece these as long as you have organized them the way I've shown in the pattern. You can chain piece and make it go fast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I've been in the process of making this quilt. So we have a sample in our shop, and I will tell you, it does really go fast and it is fun. I hate at the moment that I can't take the camera and show you up close to the Bumbleberry fabric. If you're not familiar with Lewis and Irene's Bumbleberry coordinating fabrics that goes with most of all of their collections, it is a number one up. Nancy's got it up. And I'm sure we will have a little blip that will pop up on the screen closer. You can see Nancy's making a second one of these quilts. Nancy made the one that's hanging here. But these, if you are a shop owner watching this video, I will tell you, in my shop, Bumbleberries go constantly. They are fabulous for my color wall. So, oh, there you go. Another insight to one of her blocks. Absolutely yummy. Nancy, what would you say was your favorite thing about designing this quilt?
Designing part
Yeah,
was
when you're
creating.
designing.
Yeah, it was actually, there's some, the medallion star that's in the middle, that is a unique star. And then, so I love doing that. And then the blocks that frame it, the log cabin variation, I'm calling them framing blocks. I thought those, because originally I had put log cabins around them. And then I thought, no, it takes away from the center star. I want the center star, the big center star. I wanted it to show off, and I wanted everybody to notice that first. And so that's why I redesigned the framing blocks so that you can see the medallion star better than obviously. And I'm calling that star the pineapple star. And that conversation came from my friend Scott Flanagan. I was like, I need to name this star block. And he's like, oh, let's call it the pineapple star block. I'm like, okay, because it has these little bits and chunks, all the half square triangles.
I
So
can see that. I can
yeah.
see that for sure.
So thank you,
And I
Scott.
think, yeah, I know, right? I do feel changing that from a traditional log cabin to this, even though this is a traditional blocks, that gives it a little modern feel as well. And then of course the Bumbleberry fabric is very modern. So
Yes.
it's a great twist on something traditional but very modern. So
Yes.
Nancy, tell everybody once again how they can either get the fabric, get the block of the month pattern or kit. Yeah,
Okay.
we want this. We want this.
Yes, we do. We do. We really want this. So if you are a shop owner and you're watching this video, please contact your fabric rep or contact the USA side of Lewis and Irene, and they will get you connected on how to run this block of the month. Have it in your shop. And also, as a bonus, with the patterns for participating in the block of the month, you will also get my new reference guide, which is only available currently for anyone who is participating in my block of the months. And my reference guide is quilting techniques and alternating methods. And throughout, now it's kind of a small document right now. I shouldn't even say document. It's kind of like a almost the size of a quilt pattern. And it offers traditional methods for piecing blocks and alternate methods, some that are easier and to make piecing the block easier, honestly, and so that your participants will have success in creating anything, and they can take the reference guide and use it with other patterns also. And that is free for block of the month participants.
And guys, as a reminder, a lot of the Bumbleberries that is in this quilt is their new color collection that is coming out. The fabric that is used in this quilt does not come out until April. So you've got some time to plot and plan if you want to participate. And like we said at the beginning of this, Bumbleberries is something that Lewis and Irene carries all the time. They just happen to be coming out with a new color wave that doesn't come to April, but you can go ahead and purchase even just the pattern if you want, and then get your Bumbleberries later, because it's always going to be around. You don't have to start sewing instantly. Nancy, real quick, didn't you tell me that you're going to be doing some tutorial videos?
Yes. Yes,
Talk
I will
about
be
that real quick.
offering. Well, I'm going to be offering some video tutorials on the piecing techniques that I use throughout Bumbleberry pie, and those will also be free to the public to help
And
everyone
those will be
get through.
on YouTube or Facebook or both.
It'll be on YouTube, and I'll have it on my website so that you can find them. I'm trying to get a separate page set up just for those videos
For the Bumbleberry.
to have a home. You know what I mean? And then also, of course, you'll find them on my YouTube channel, which is Nancy McNally Quilts.
I love it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with Nancy talking about this lovely quilt she has designed called Bumbleberry Pie, sponsored by Lewis and Irene, filled with their Bumbleberries fabric. Hopefully, you will be able to speak with either your Lewis and Irene fabric rep or your local quilt shop owner and get on board.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.